What is up, man?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
You need to mirror your video so that I can read your logos.
God damn it. It looks fine on my end because I flipped it. Let me see if I can. Can you read them now?
No, they're still inverted.
All right. Let me dump that one. This happened the last time I tried this, and I don't fucking understand it.
There you go. That's it.
You can see that normal?
Yep.
All right, because it's backwards for me looking at it, but that's fine.
Shouldn't matter for you, right?
Yeah, I know what they say. How's it going, man? Nice shirt.
I know. Picked it up off the street.
Yeah, they're around, I hear.
How was the summit, man?
Dude, it was awesome. Absolutely like mind-blowing awesome.
Worth it?
Yeah, definitely. It took me, took me a minute to get out of my shell and like figure out what the hell I was going to do, but it was pretty cool.
Nice.
I got there fucking late, man. My fucking flight from Detroit was delayed 5 hours. So the dinner started at 6. So I missed check-in, registration, everything. And they, I had bags and shirts and everything. And I think I got to my hotel at like 5:45, like ran upstairs, took a pirate bath, threw on my sport coat, got back downstairs, walked in the door, and I'm at the end, like at the entrance, right? And I'm talking right away with Kip Knipple, the recruiter.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I just hear this, yo, what's up, guys? And I turn around and Andy's like, boom, right here, shaking my hand. I'm like, fucking A. It was cool though, man.
That's fun, man. That's Andy, just like a normal dude.
I didn't actually talk to him a ton. I talked to Ed a little bit. I talked to Sal for a while last night, but yeah, I mean, he's a normal dude with a fuck ton of security around him.
I don't blame him, but
I don't either. And they were cool. Fuck, DJ is hilarious. I talked to him for a while. he's as funny as you would expect him to be.
I mean, like you can hear it in the show too. Like he's just waiting to crack another joke or to find a spot to put a joke in.
Yes, totally. We had dinner in Andy's garage the second night, which by the way is out of control, dude. Fucking out of control. 3 stories of amazingness. But DJ is sitting right next to me and some roofer named Forrest, and we were fucking with him. We were sitting because they split you up in tables based on what car you were in front of. So we were in front of a Porsche GT something 3R. It's a little cute little bubbly thing.
Yeah, it's like 400 grand.
Yeah, and it's kick ass. Anyways, DJ goes, believe it or not, me and Andy both fit inside that motherfucker. And we're like, what? He's like, it ain't no comfortable ride, but we fit in it.
Oh,
But it was cool, man. The speakers were good, real good. They did a ton of open mic Q&A. And then, yeah, their farm was pretty cool too. Went there last night. So definitely a worthwhile experience. I've been talking for like, I feel like 3 or 4 days straight. So it's probably better that I fucked up on the time and canceled the other podcast anyways.
yeah. Did you meet Wes Sorensen when you were out there?
He was there. We never talked.
He's just one of the other GCs in the group that I know, or I know of.
There's a big construction contingency in Arate. Alex is here. We can chat after if you got a minute.
Yeah,
Cool.
for sure. Oh, I need to see if I have his bio. Shit.
I've got it if you want.
You want to do the intro then?
You can, yeah. Hey, Alex, how's it going, man?
Great. How's it going with you guys?
Fantastic. All right. I don't usually have this going on my end, so I'm just making sure we're recording.
Blue
good.
collar badass. I love it.
All right, man. So Alex meet Dillon, Dillon meet Alex.
Nice
What's
to
on,
meet you.
Dylan?
Kind of like I told you when we chatted last time, we just kind of run this real conversational. I think I forgot to send Dillon your bio, so I'm gonna start us off, and then we'll just kind of jump right into it, and ask you about your story, what you're doing, how you got there, and just kind of see how it rolls from there.
Cool.
Is there anything specifically you either want to talk about or probably more importantly don't want to talk about?
No, pretty open book, so no, nothing's off limits.
Okay.
We don't get too personal, so.
Do you want to talk about Roe v. Wade?
Yeah, right.
Invading Ukraine, just lay it out there. I'll follow the lead.
All right, cool. I know what we got going on then. All right, man. We might as well get started then. Dillon, we're recording, so if you want to do your roll-in whenever you're ready.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Construction Corner podcast. I'm Dillon. I'm your host, joined this week by Matt and Alex. And we're actually I'm gonna roll right to Matt because I don't have his bio in front of me this week. And I'll let you take it from here, Matt.
Thanks, Dillon. So yeah, guys, today we have with us Alex Kraft. Alex is a first-time entrepreneur and founder of Heave.co. He started Heave based on his 16 years of experience working for a heavy equipment dealer. He worked in pretty much every area of the dealership, from equipment sales to rentals to parts and service. From his early days, he's always had a love for the industry, the blue-collar nature of the people that drive it, which, wink, wink, is why he fits in good here. And always been a big fan of the tangible results that companies can provide to our economy, and he's excited to be a part of its evolution. And Alex, we're excited to have you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's exciting to be on here and look forward to chatting over the next 60 minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess without wasting any time, let's just jump right in, Alex. Why don't you give us a kind of a 30,000 foot view of you? Where'd you get your start in the industry, and where'd you get to?
Yeah, when we had first talked, Matt, you had kind of mentioned to me that I'd listened to a few of your episodes, that you hadn't had anyone on from like the equipment supplier side. So that's true. one of the reasons why I thought it'd be kind of cool to get into this. And so I started out of college without knowing much about the industry, selling equipment. So got a job. The allure was not necessarily the industry at the time. It was the ability to live in Miami at the age of 23. So,
hey, that works.
South Beach was pretty cool to live back in 2004 through 2007. So that was more of the start, was the location, and then I did fall in love with the industry. Just the people that you meet. In the lead up, you had mentioned tangible. Like most of my friends, I'm from the Philadelphia area, so I'm a Northeastern guy. A lot of my friends lived in Manhattan, different financial firms. And one of the things that kind of was like frustrating, I would ask them like, well, what do you do? And they would give me a title, and I'm like, okay, well, what does that do? like, what do you do when you get there at 9 a.m? And it's just like, I couldn't understand it. So it was cool to like meet these guys who were third generation or second generation, and you just know what they did. Like, hey, we pave, we do infrastructure, we start here and it ends with this completed job. And it's just, there were real people. And so that's, that was my start, and I really enjoyed, the people part of the business.
So go ahead, Dylan.
Well, I can imagine in 04 to 07 in Miami, just the boom that was happening during that time, right? Like, yeah, real estate was probably absolutely insane. So being in like the rental equipment business, you were probably busting your butt for those 3 years.
It was crazy. It was stupid. And it wouldn't even just say Miami. I would say Florida in general. And one of the cool things, I was always able to have good perspective because we also owned the Volvo dealership in Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City. And so I was able to see how the Florida market compared to other areas, specifically up there. And like even, yeah, you mentioned the really awesome times. And then it went off of a cliff. But even when that recession hit in 07 and really through like 2011, you would look at the market numbers for Florida compared to like the Northeast. And relatively, if you were selling equipment, you'd still want to be in Florida in the recession, just because the market still, for that job was, you could make a good living. Just wasn't what it used to be.
Yeah, I think nothing was what it used to be in those times across the country. But Florida's kind of got that buffer, I think, always, because it's a vacation destination still. It's a retirement destination, so that probably was a pretty good place to insulate yourself.
Definitely, and there's a lot of land to be developed. Like growing up in the Northeast, like everything has already been built, right? And you drive around Florida, and everything, you go inland, and there's still plenty of land. So, and one of the things that I really enjoy about your guys' podcast is you talk a lot, have a lot of guests on about like self-improvement. And one of the crazy things is that in that 2004, 2007 period of time is that you didn't have to be good at it. Like you were getting orders, you were selling equipment, you were renting equipment, and you just had to have a pulse. Maybe you just call somebody back.
So how did you learn the industry though? So, I mean, you had to have more than a pulse to be successful. I gotta imagine, since you're still doing it now, however many years later. So you literally walked in on day one and didn't know anything about construction, anything about equipment?
No, just learn the equipment. I've always been curious, and I've always tried to find like somebody who really knows what they're doing and try to watch what they do. And so that's, just learning on your own,
That's why I hang out with Dillon.
Because in sales, I mean, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. That's one of the, it's the qualities are the same. It's building rapport, it's being responsive, it's not pitching, it's listening. So that's some of the things that I picked up on from the successful guys that were around.
Yeah, for sure. It's like sales and anything, like you said, it's know, like, trust, right? You got to build that, whether you're selling widgets or equipment or construction projects or software.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And two, the other thing with this industry in particular, customers are so knowledgeable about the equipment. And even back then, because if you think about it, those are the guys who are running the equipment. So like even as a salesperson, I might not be in the cab of a machine, that particular machine, for 3 months. These guys are running it every day. And so it really, like, success to me from an early start in the industry was like just supporting. It wasn't, I initially thought I'd have to be able to be like, all right, well, this 3-yard loader has a fuel capacity of X. Like, no, that doesn't matter to customers. They just, it's like what we've talked about. It's responsiveness, it's trust, it's support. That's what leads people to be successful. It's not, you don't have to be this like walking spec sheet.
You probably don't get a lot of guys walking in not having any friggin' clue what they're there to buy.
Right, exactly. And two, like salespeople in this profession don't like go on a job site and say, okay, so you're going to move 1 million yards of dirt. So I would recommend that would take 16 40-ton trucks, and you're gonna need 600,000 pounds. You have an estimating team. The customers know, like, hey, we're gonna do this job. It's gonna take us 9 months. We're gonna need this spread of equipment. And so that's what I think makes it unique for somebody who maybe like me in the beginning who didn't really know that much to be able to kind of survive.
Which, I mean, that's a pretty unique position, right? For like a lot of the things that we do in construction, you have a lot of clients that maybe don't understand some nuances about like flooring finishes, or, maybe they know that they want carpet or hardwood. They don't know anything in between. So for like the equipment side of things, and having the customers placing an order for the most part in what it is that you're doing, which as a young guy, so long as you can be pretty humble, I'm sure that was a great opportunity to do it. But what types of equipment were you renting, selling, all that kind of stuff?
So we were a Volvo dealer. So it was all heavy earth moving. So loaders, excavators, articulated haulers, off-road trucks were probably the product that Volvo was most known for. And when I was in management, we took on the Takeuchi line. So we really got into the compact equipment like the mini excavators and the track skid loaders. And it's a great product. And but I never sold Takeuchi. I was just in management at that time. But it was mostly earth moving.
Did you have any involvement in the finance side of this?
In terms of?
Well, it always just, I've been in the construction industry for a long time, 20, 25 years. But it always blows my mind when I meet new earth workers, just the sheer magnitude of cost they have to go through to own this stuff, right?
Sure.
It's not like me going and buying a new F-250, it's hundreds and hundreds of, if not millions of dollars. So I don't know. I'm just always kind of been curious how you go about how the average guy would go and say, I want to start an earthworking company. Now I got to get a shit ton of equipment that's going to cost me whatever.
Absolutely. So, we would finance a ton of equipment. So financing was integral in selling, but for some of those guys, like you mentioned, a lot of the small stuff is bought with cash, or they have their own lender. Leasing became really popular, like from the last 6 or 7 years till now for that reason. Because a lot of customers really became very sophisticated and very smart with how they would do jobs, like leasing. Why, to your point, why an off-road truck like a Volvo 40-ton truck would run over 500 grand. And this industry is full of sayings, right? But they're mainly true, right? So somebody would say, well, you never buy one truck, you buy 2 trucks, 4 trucks. So why commit $1 million in capital to buy 2 trucks when I have a 2-year job and I can lease this equipment and I only have to pay 11 grand a month per truck? Makes a lot of sense. And so leasing took off 5-6 years ago for that reason. And you see a lot of customers, they employ a strategy with 3. So we'll lease X amount, we'll rent X amount, and we'll own X amount.
Sure.
And it makes a lot of sense. Whereas I think the old school contractors 20 years ago, it's no, we buy everything.
Yeah, buy it and hold it for 40 years. And
right, because it's an asset.
Yes. And as long as you have a good mechanic, a good maintenance department, I guess you can do that. I've also seen a lot of dudes who, they'll show up on a job site with these just old dogs on a trailer. And it's like, man, what are you doing?
Absolutely. So a lot of things have changed. It's neat to watch, like I said, we become smarter.
How has supply chain affected that in kind of guys, obviously the financial side and leasing versus renting, but from the availability of, a job comes up and you don't own it. So how do you go about that? And has there been some, problems on that side of the fence?
So it's interesting. I'm in a different capacity now with the supply chain than what I used to be. But take away the term supply chain. Inventory was always a big challenge. So when I was with the dealership, I had one of my responsibilities was I had to manage our credit facility. So we would have to stock inventory. We had a $140 million line. And so I was always having to look at, all right, we're selling 40 machines this month. We're taking in 50 machines this month, and how all those pieces fit. And what was happening towards the end of my tenure there was lead times would be further and further out. And so, like, if we ordered something on